Welcome to ESVN, the Emma Sports Vigeland Network show. My name is Emma Vigeland, and it is ESVN OT, baby. And we had a horrible, horrible week last week, so you want to just skip right over that, Bradley?
In a lot of ways, you could say this, but, you know, it's a little bit more... There's more levity to say it for this particular reason. That I feel like we're in hell.
Oh, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, I think so.
From a betting perspective, we're in hell.
We are.
So I'm trying something new today.
Just thought the Eagles were a sure thing last week. Turns out no. Actually, no, the 49ers. Oh my God, my brain is a complete mess. There you go. Tim Pool beanie on and everything.
So I'm trying something new, and I want to see if the analytics bear this out. I'm going beanie mode for our bets today.
Okay.
I'm going to see how I do with the beanie on relative to without the beanie on.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm wearing glasses, so we'll see how I do with the glasses, right?
So we can do glasses mode and beanie mode.
Glasses mode and beanie mode. We'll see. This is a very empirical study that we're engaging in here.
Because honestly, nothing else is working.
No, I know.
So
it's
I
amazing.
might as well just try and mix it up a little bit.
Last week we went 0-3 and both lost in Survivor. So that's back-to-back weeks of you losing in Survivor.
That's bad. It's not good. I'm not having fun doing this.
I am not having fun either. Let's pull this up here, I guess, so we can... Oh, wait, no. We have to do our...
Shall we?
Yeah, this is going to be a very quick episode today. I am jumbled and all over the place.
No problem.
So just picks, and then we're out of here. ESVN.
Stone cold lock of the century. All the week.
Yeah, we gotta get Dan. We gotta get Dan from the internet to add one with me with my beanie on.
I know. Maybe that's really the bad juju that we're all experiencing.
We do a redux with you with your glasses on and me with my beanie.
Exactly. Soon enough. So last week, as we mentioned, both of us went 0-3. Not good. Not ideal. We are mushes apparently. I thought that we were finally getting our groove back after I went 2-1 the previous week. But no, we lost across the board. I had
6-14-1 is like violent to look at. 6-14 with one push. Jesus Christ!
I had the Buffalo Bills both as my survivor pick and one of my locks to cover. They obviously lost to the Patriots. Bradley had the Raiders as his survivor pick, and they lost. And you know, we don't even need to get into the rest of it. But we both had the Lions. They got crushed.
In the battle, well, so in the battle, well, I lost in the battle of the backups. So I was thinking, well, I should never have thought that, as we discussed extensively on Monday, I really should never thought for 1 second that Josh McDaniels would actually start Aiden O'Connell in place of Brian Hoyer. Because, as we discussed extensively on Monday, Josh McDaniels is a coach who plays to lose.
Exactly.
So my mea culpa, that's on me.
Yeah, I think at the time I did, raise my eyebrows about that pick slightly, just because I think the Raiders are even worse than their record indicates. But
absolutely, and I did not expect the Tyson Bagent heat check game either.
Oh yeah.
The other thing is, to my point on Monday about how I really have very little grasp of this season so far, I also was not expecting, despite how good the Ravens defense is looking so far, I was not expecting the Lions offense to put up 6 points.
It's really, it was just like Lamar just kept driving down the field and the Lions were unable to stop him at any point. Then you can't play catch up with a quarterback like Jared Goff. That's where he has these limitations. So
there's no creation mode going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is not a superior athlete,
Yeah.
I will say. But let's get into it for this week after we've mocked ourselves. My first pick against the spread are the Rams in Dallas +6. Honestly, this is just gut feel. I just have not been impressed by the Dallas Cowboys in a variety of games. And look, they're bullies and they beat up on people when they have the opportunity. But the Rams have shown that they're not a team that gets bullied. They're feisty. And Sean McVay is going to be able, I think, to get Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp open enough against a Dallas defense where they have in some ways struggled to stop the pass with some of the more creative opponents. And Dak Prescott has not played well this year. So I'm counting on the Rams defense, which is well coached, to be opportunistic and just make that game a little bit closer. I thought the 6 points was a little too much.
I think it's a little too much because I think the offense, like, I think despite losing to the Steelers, I do think that.
Oh, they outplayed the Steelers the whole game.
That's my thinking is also I don't think necessarily the loss and like the final score indicates that the Rams offense is looking bad. I think the Steelers defense is still very good, and also I don't believe that the Rams like played down to them in any way necessarily. So I think underlying things for the Rams I think are still looking up, and I'm still not certain that we don't continue to see potentially like the limits of the Mike McCarthy offensive play calling experiment as it continues and as more
It's
film
devolving.
and as more film emerges for teams to look at of that particular scheme.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is basically stick nod.
Yep. They really need more creativity. Who would have thought it? I
Yeah.
mean, Mike McCarthy has this reputation.
So you're telling me that Brian Schottenheimer and Mike McCarthy are
Not the most
not
creative
lighting
minds?
the league up in 2023?
Not exactly. Not
Interesting.
exactly. I almost picked this too, so this is a good pick in my eyes. The Houston Texans -3.5 in Carolina. Carolina's the mush.
Yes. So I this seemed pretty intuitive to me. Like I obviously again, I have had literally no bearing on any team this year, so like this could obviously be like a blowout for the Panthers because why not? But Tank Dell does seem to be coming back healthy this week, so I think the red zone target for CJ Stroud will reemerge, which I think is encouraging. And even though the Panthers defense is like frisky under Ejiro Evero's tutelage, I have not seen anything to make me believe that I trust like the first overall picks team more than I trust the second overall picks team.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of a fun matchup because it is literally like 1 versus 2, new head coach versus new head coach. Like it's kind of interesting to like
Exactly.
see them go up against each other. But I really do think, based on everything I've seen, I do feel like the Texans are trending one way and the Panthers are trending the other.
Well, I mean, both quarterbacks have motivation Bryce Young, I'm sure, has been hearing all the praise about CJ Stroud, but CJ Stroud has the opportunity to really give a middle finger to David Tepper
Truly.
and the Panthers and just be like, look
the
at what
S1
you
test.
missed out. I know. So I side with that. That half point makes me a little bit nervous, but the Carolina Panthers have been unable to hang in the fourth quarter all year. So I like that pick as well. My other pick is the Baltimore Ravens in Arizona -9.5. I mean, I think they do win by 10 points. I think the Ravens have finally found their groove and they're starting to congeal on offense.
And if they can light up like a Lions defense who has been playing way better than they were last year.
Yes.
Like, the Cardinals, I think, have been, of course, I'll have to give them credit where credit is due. They've been feistier and like more competitive than I ever was going to give them credit for.
But the wheels are starting to fall
But
off.
I don't think it's nearly
There's more
enough.
tape on them.
Yeah.
People are starting to figure out their situation.
And like I think a opportunistic Mike McDonald led defense for the Ravens could absolutely kind of get one over on the young offensive line and Josh Dobbs continuing, his understudy role for
Right.
the Cardinals until Kyler Murray is back.
Yes. I hear you on that. And Kyler Murray is starting to practice, so we will see how that turns out. I mean, you got to wonder what this coaching staff even thinks of him, to be honest with you.
He's like, my hand-eye coordination is so good because of all the COD I've been playing while I've been injured.
Oh my God. They better have a new protocol with this coaching staff for the iPad time.
They gotta hack his Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they do. They do. And okay, so the Cardinals don't blitz, and I saw some statistic about how good Lamar Jackson is against standard rushes. He just is able to pick people apart in that way. Part of that is because he won't get taken off guard, and then he can run for the first down or the second down, or 5 yards, right, or not for the second down, but you know what I mean. Run for the first down, to get some easy 5 yards, and he just lives in this kind of situation. So I see the Ravens kind of putting the Cardinals away in the fourth quarter and winning by at least 10.
And we've been talking about that too, that what we've also, I think, been enjoying about the new offensive scheme in Baltimore is that the Lamar rush kind of like, cheat code has been used like 2 out of every 10 plays as opposed to like 8 out of every 10 plays. So it's
Right.
like actually honestly more effective because it's not as utilized as I think it has been in the past, where like you went with Greg Roman, you were expecting basically every other snap to be a, you know, either a design run or a Lamar scramble, and now he's actually staying tall in the pocket and then shooting off for, you know, 10 to what could be a 3-yard rush or 5-yard rush for another quarterback is a 12-yard rush for Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson.
exactly. And you have the Seattle Seahawks against the Cleveland Browns in Seattle -4. I'm liking where your head's at this week, I gotta say.
Well,
Maybe the kiss of death.
Well, there's a potential conversation to be had that maybe after this week the Browns defense is going to take very unkindly to the fact that they gave up 38 points to the Indianapolis Colts. However, my thinking with this is that I still like where Seattle has been with their offense, especially with seeing Jackson Smith and Jigba, partially I'm sure because of the in and out of DK Metcalf because of his health, seeing Jackson Smith and Jigba's target share expand. So I just feel like some of their offensive playbook has been kind of flourishing a little bit more with more option and more youth in who they're throwing to, especially with, you know, also rookie Jake Bobo, who is like, you know, I obviously love the name, guys.
Yes.
He's all first team
Easy
name
to
guy.
love.
But he's shown some real flashes. He has a great catch radius. He's a very creative receiver. I've already been liking what I've been seeing with the offense, and I think their defense has been playing better. Even if the Browns' defense returns a little bit to form, obviously a near 40-point showing from Gardner Minshew and the Colts raises some eyebrows for me in terms of whether that's just a pure outlier of a game or if it might be a little bit closer to what we could see, or if just that there's something exploitable about them where it wasn't seemingly that way prior. The other big thing is just that we know that Deshaun Watson will not be starting again.
Yes.
So that's the other factor for me is
can they do this tightrope dance with PJ Walker?
Can the winning formula be historical defense and like kind of a rudderless offense with his kind of no upside really,
with a very mistake prone backup quarterback here. Usually
who likes to take risks too. Like,
yes.
he's mistake prone and like, is happy to take risks.
Oh, he loves to take risks. It's somehow not been ironed out of his game. I don't like him as a backup for that reason. Usually you want the backup to come in and just kind of steer the ship as opposed to try to make plays all the time. It puts them in a bad position. But at the same time, yeah, I think that the wheels could fall off for the Browns because it's just become it's too much pressure on that defense.
And that's the other thing I was going to say is, as I think we're talking about the last few weeks too, that's something I've really been noticing is that, you know, this is not revolutionary, but if there are numerous 3 and outs as a result of PJ Walker not being able to extend drives, the Browns defense is going to be on the field a lot.
Yeah, right.
They might get tired.
Exactly.
They might get found out a little bit. So we'll see. But
yeah,
I feel good about it.
I hear you. And that, it must be the beanie squeezing your head too tight.
Yeah, I'm. You know what? Most of the people who I know who wear beanies and broadcast are geniuses, like very smart, analytical people. So I'm thinking
they get a lot of women. They get a lot of women.
That kind of rock star energy. You know?
Yeah. People come up to you and they say, "You drive a Bugatti?"
Yeah. I'm like, wow. That actually what happened before when I went out to get a coffee earlier.
That's what women want. I'm going with the Detroit Lions -8 at home against the hapless Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, this I can.
On Monday Night Football.
I think this is a good combo here.
The Lions are bullies, and they're going to be mad.
Yeah, I was going to say bounce back game.
Yes.
Raiders. I think are, as you said, I don't believe in any way, shape, or form the record indicates how good this or not good this Raiders team is. I think
they
this
stole
Raiders
some
team
wins early in the year.
I think this Raiders team is like extremely bad.
And Josh McDaniels is extremely bad at his job. So I have a lot of faith in the Lions bouncing back here and reasserting themselves as one of the elite teams in the NFC.
Agreed.
You really just don't have to worry about anybody on that defense for the Raiders except for Max Crosby. He's the only person that you kind of have to account for. And the offensive line for the Lions is just pretty damn stout. So I have faith that they're going to be able to move the ball up and down the field. And I've seen nothing from this McDaniels offense, especially if Jimmy G is not playing. I mean, do we have that information yet about what his status is? This is the problem with doing the show on on a Thursday, but we've got to get ahead out of all the games. No, they're hopeful. It's not clear either way.
Per the Raiders wire from yesterday, still not medically cleared to return. So the chance he still misses week 8. But if I'm seeing not medically cleared, I mean, of course, anything can happen. But it kind of makes me think that they're not going to rush him back.
I mean, it's a back injury.
Right.
It's nothing to turn your nose up at.
Right,
So I have the Lions -8 here.
And if it continues and he still says, "Oh, this isn't preseason. We're going to put in Brian Hoyer, like the mummified, the sarcophagus, the mummified corpse of
Brian Hoyer,
and we're not going to see our little baby Aiden O'Connell play quarterback," then I think there's going to be even less of a chance for them to win.
Yes. Your final pick here. This is a bold one.
Yeah, this is bold. This is like me. This. I'm in full beanie mode with this pick. I've gone full beanie mode, picking the Bengals +3.5 over the 49ers at Levi Stadium in San Francisco, in Santa Clara technically, but in the Bay Area. I am going off the recency of the fact that the 49ers, especially with a few of the injuries that they've had, that Trent Williams is banged up, Deebo Samuel is seemingly not playing again, that the offense has sputtered a little bit, and we've seen a little bit of like Iowa State Brock Purdy come out as opposed to pro quarterback Brock Purdy come out.
And he may be injured, Brock Purdy, is what I'm
seeing. And if he's injured, so maybe we'll get a little bit of Darnold
concussion
ball,
protocol,
which I would be kind of excited about, but we'll see what happens there. It was just a surprising thing to see. The Browns game 2 weeks ago, you can understand because of how good the Browns defense is. But then you look at the Colts game against the Browns and you're like, wait, why could the Colts put up 38 points and the 49ers couldn't on the Browns, first and foremost? It was a weather game a bit, right? There was some bad weather, so maybe that was part of a complicating factor. But then they lose to the Vikings, the 49ers. And that is almost more concerning to me because the Vikings defense is...
Well, it's improved from a schematic standpoint, but
personnel-wise, Cam Bynum is and Josh Wanham are guys who are basically terrorizing the 49ers offense the entire game.
And it is interesting too because I feel like I didn't think that they would miss Deebo Samuel this much, but they really do rely on those three kind of horses to lead the offense. Deebo, McCaffrey, and Ayuk. Like those guys make the offense go from a speedier perspective.
For sure. 100...
Kittle is his own kind of animal, but it's they behind those guys, they're struggling a little bit to get more of those receivers involved in a meaningful way, not just some empty yards. But
TJ Wanham, excuse me, who's who I was talking about. But yeah, so I think it's sort of me banking on a little bit of a 49ers fade after kind of the invincibility of the first few weeks, as well as sort of the opposite trajectory of the Bengals, which is like, I feel like with Burrow becoming healthier and also coming off the bye, like having actually did they play last week? They didn't play last week, right?
The Bengals, no.
So coming off the bye, I just feel like Burrow has now had a full week to kind of rehabilitate his body, not have to go through the rigors of the regular season schedule. I think that gives me some hope that this will be closer, and we'll kind of be seeing more of like the rounding into form Bengals, where the matchups are actually kind of making sense, and like the matchups are are more dynamic, where we're actually seeing mismatches and exploitations with Jamar Chase, with well, I guess we don't. Is T Higgins playing?
He is playing. It should be.
So potentially a full strength offensive in terms of offensive skill position players for the Bengals going into this with a rested Burrow.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic. The only thing that will ruin my plans, as I'm seeing a person in the chat, I'm not particularly familiar with this person in the YouTube chat. This is Revolution talking up how good he thinks Sam Darnold is going to be in this 49ers offense. I'll be thinking of you guys on Sunday on Sunday if that is the case, where Sam Darnold turned out to be another gem, another pearl plucked out of an oyster from Kyle Shanahan's QB.
Miles is in the
expedition.
YouTube chat again talking shit.
Yeah,
what else?
You can't escape my watchful eyes.
Yes, you cannot.
Especially with the beanie on. Jason rocks a beanie, though, I will say, and very expertly.
That he is
much better than myself.
The one person in
the
media
one
that's
actual
able to,
broadcasting genius.
Yes.
In a beanie, Jason Miles.
He has disproved the rule there. All right, so for Survivor, I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens. Same reasons that I gave for picking them against the spread. How about you, Bradley?
So I took the Jets against the Giants, and this is just my heat check pick. I'm feeling myself.
I mean, they're the better team.
I'm feeling myself with absolutely no justification for doing so. I'm riding high after the Eagles win and the bye week.
And it does seem like Tyrod Taylor is likely to start. Oh wait. No, I think he's still not medically cleared.
So we don't know for sure if Daniel Jones will be playing.
It's doubtful, in my opinion, based on my experience with the team.
And I guess my thinking here is just with I think especially after the Eagles game, I was just encouraged by how the entire defense was playing, even with some reserves in the secondary. I think this is a offensive line that the Jets defensive line could certainly take advantage of. And even though it's technically a Giants home game, I always feel like, in MetLife, it's sort of a neutral site anyways, to an extent.
Yes,
there's
of course.
There'll be enough people from both ends because it's easy to get to.
I was annoyed when I saw on the schedule that this counted as a Giants home game. I wish it was one of their away games.
Right,
They don't have to go anywhere.
Exactly. So that's my pick. I'm hopeful that there can be a 4-3 Jets in my future, but we shall see.
We shall see. All right. Well, with that, our picks against the spread are: I went with the Rams +6 in Dallas, the Baltimore Ravens -9.5 in Arizona. I'm all aboard the Lamar train as usual. The Detroit Lions at home -8 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Bradley has the Houston Texans in Carolina -3.5. The Seattle Seahawks at home against Cleveland -4, and the Bengals +3.5 against San Francisco in San Francisco. I almost said Candlestick Park. That is no longer. And
yards.
Those are the picks. So pray
Wait,
for
did you
us.
say your Survivor pick? Did I miss that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Ravens.
so you're just going Ravens
Ravens
over Cardinals. Okay,
Yep.
That's easy. One of your bets, easy enough.
I mean, we're playing Survivor, but we have lost 2 limbs or something like that. Yeah, it's zombie.
Right, or it's basically Hangman now.
Yes, yeah.
How many limbs can we lose before the end of the season?
All right, guys. Had to be quick today. Lots going on. We will see you on Monday.
Yes,
Appreciate you all.
We will definitely touch more on the upcoming World Series and the returning of the NBA regular season.
Oh yes, that's what I meant to talk about today. We will talk.
We will have much more to discuss on Monday.
Good points. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.